Budget fam? It's Jordan from Jordan Budgets. Typically on this channel, you will find cash stuffing, you will find budgeting. I talk a bit about how to make money on Etsy and YouTube because this is my full-time job now. But today we're talking about why I am not moving. Now, before it gets too far into this video, I want to go ahead and say the plan to move is still there eventually. This is going to be more about why I'm postponing it and what is happening to make me feel like now is just not the time for it. But first, let's talk about why this is important and why I was moving. I kind of just want to clear the air on this video and make its own separate video. I could do a chatty cash stuffing, which is something I do a lot on this channel, but I thought this deserved a face-to-face because I have talked about moving so much on this channel, and I have been planning this move since the start of my channel. I started my channel 6 or 8 months ago. I don't even know at this point. But when I started this channel, I was in between jobs and I was receiving child support full time. And I was relying on child support and some savings and planning on just finding like another sort of gap filler job. I don't know what else to call it but that. But I can't work in my career where I currently live. It pays $9 an hour and I have a master's degree if I were to work in my field where I am at as a librarian, which is what I have my master's degree in. My plan has always been for 2 or 3 years now to move to Nashville, Tennessee as soon as my boys were basically the ages they are now. One of those big reasons being career-wise. The other big reason to move is because I need better hospitals for my sons. My sons have ARPKD, it's autosomal recessive polycystic kidney disease. So if you look that up, you'll see it's kind of a big deal, but I don't want to knock hospitals in my area. Last time I sort of spoke poorly about hospitals in the South as a generalization. I really hurt a couple of nurses that work in the area. I hurt their feelings, and that's not my intention. But in my particular area, it's just not somewhere you want to be if you have a chronic illness that is kind of a big deal. And I'm sorry, that's just my opinion, but it has been my opinion, and you know, from what I've read, I'm trying to say my opinion without offending people, which doesn't always go that way. But basically, I have felt strongly that I had to move by this point in my life for years and years. So I'm saying all of that to say it kind of became a staple platform on YouTube as well. It didn't mean to become a big deal on my channel, but I just talked about it a lot because it's a budgeting channel, and my budget has sort of been anticipating and waiting for this change for a long time. So naturally, I had just talked about moving a lot. I had been planning it in my budget. You guys saw maybe 2 months ago, maybe a month ago, I had a video of how I'm prepping my budget to move. Anyway, those are 2 of the big reasons why I have been planning to move and why I've talked about it so much, just because this has been in the work in my life for a while now. It has been on my mind. And being a single mom, a lot of big decisions, all the big decisions, they land on our shoulders, right? So when I make a big decision, I tend to stick to that big decision, because if I let myself get in my feelings or I start to think about things, like overthink things, I will change my mind, because it's hard to make a big decision as one single person when you're making big moves for your entire family, for my 2 young boys, right? It's kind of a big deal. So I in no way would have expected that I would have changed my mind on this, or I wouldn't have talked about it so much on my channel. I don't like to feel like I'm being a flake or I'm being misleading in any way, and that's kind of how I'm feeling right now. But that's kind of the background of the plan of the move and why I was moving. Now, why I was planning on moving at this exact summer and this exact point is, one, again, career-wise, it's kind of the in-between where my boys both finished the preschool that they have been at and they loved, because my youngest is at that preschool now, finishing up his last year, and I wanted to move before he started kindergarten. Now, ideally, I would have felt like I was prepared to move and I would have moved before either of my kids entered public school, but my plan as a single mom, of course, has always been to public school them. I just didn't think I had the capacity to do anything else. Well, we're about to get into why things started shifting, right? I really wanted to move before my youngest started kindergarten. He is my sensitive child. I know that he would be much more affected by starting kindergarten at one school and then going to first grade at another school, whereas my older son is just a lot more flexible when it comes to relationships in particular. So that, in a nutshell, is the big reasons why I have been planning to move, and I 1000% thought that I would be moving this summer, and why I've been talking about it so much on my channel, right? But I am now coming to you to say that I am not moving, at least not this summer. And let's talk about those big reasons and how they kind of play into this and what has shifted these last few months. If you've been on my channel, you probably know. First, the hospitals. The hospitals are, at this point, the only reason I still feel such a huge weight on my shoulders that I have to move. It has to happen. I have to move and get by better hospitals for my sons. I'm sorry if that offends you. I have to. As I had said previously, Nashville, Tennessee has Vanderbilt. They are the closest, I'd say, big hospital that is ranked, and they are ranked in transplants, which my sons will need. They're ranked in a lot of different things, whereas all the hospitals by me are not even ranked or like on any kind of a scale. Where my sons currently go actually is in New Orleans, and I love them, but they just started doing transplants last year. So of course, these are my babies we're talking about. Okay, I want Vanderbilt for them, or I want CHOP. I want a bigger hospital that would be able to accommodate them. But I will say that my sons, again, I want to have a whole other video about ARPKD and my sons just as on blah 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 blah. Just on an awareness standpoint, I would love to make a video like that, but they are actually at a great point right now. We only go to see their specialist every 6 months to a year, and that's actually less than it had been when they were younger. Until recently, we were going every 3 to 6 months, so now it's every 6 months to a year. So I can't speak for next year because this isn't a disease that has a specific timeline or trajectory as far as how fast things change. But for this year, I feel comfortable staying where we are another year as far as hospitals go for the boys. So I will say the hospital standpoint is something that is still forcing a move. Like, it has got to happen for me and my little boys. It just does not have to happen right now. Now, school, I really wanted to get them into the public schools before my youngest started kindergarten, as far as not moving him in the middle of a school year for the public schools, right? Well, I am now a homeschooling mom. Both of my boys want to be homeschooling, and as long as they want to be homeschooling and I'm able to do that, I will do that. And I will back up and say I was still planning on moving until literally the last couple weeks. My mood has started to shift a bit as I start to relax and think about, okay, I could change my mind, right? Going back to, like, I never want to change my mind once I've made up my mind. But in this instance for moving, the pros of staying just outweigh the cons of staying right now. So with school, again, both of them being homeschooled, I would say that is the biggest factor that is making me want to stay, and that is influencing my decision to stay, because I would say housing-wise, if I move into a 3-bedroom here, the price is very comparable to Spring Hill, which is where I was looking right outside of Franklin. I'm gonna be paying the same amount for a 3-bedroom here as I would as a 3-bedroom there. The prices everywhere are just skyrocketing right now. But the big difference is the support that I have for schooling here. So when we recently went to Nashville, Tennessee, of course I have on my radar where different like co-ops would be and different homeschool groups and things, and I just will not be able to afford the same level of support when it comes to their schooling. So right now my boys go to a co-op 1 day a week that covers all kinds of fun stuff for them. I don't want to give too many specifics and give away where they're going for safety reasons, obviously, but it is a very fun day in that homeschool group, and my sister brings them, so that gives me a full day to work on YouTube and Etsy and different things that I'm working on for the planner and all of these dreams that I have, right? Well, so that's 1 day of my week, and then my mom takes the boys, or will be taking both boys. Right now she takes the one that is homeschooled. She teaches them math and science and robots. She's teaching my first grader typing, so he's already typing most of the keys. He's already got that figured out, and she's just very fun with him. She creates Lego math. She has a lot of the fun subjects for my first grader who is really into those math science, computers. They have a robotics class. I mean, my mom is just killing it at the homeschooling scene, right? And for me to take them away from my mom for those 2 days a week, not only does she free up 2 days for me to work, so then that puts me at what, 3 days? 3 days I have to work, even though I'm a homeschooling single mom. She just makes it very fun, and I don't think I have the capacity at this point in my life to replicate all of the fun things that she is doing with them. And then of course I have my 2 days a week with the boys, and because I'm able to get so much done on those 3 days that I have support from family, I am then able to have a lot of fun with them. We can go to the park or the beach or anything if we have the time for it. I can take on some of those more boring subjects to my kids that I love, like reading and writing and all of those things. So I would say the homeschooling thing has really just been what pushed me the most to stay here, especially for right now, because we just have it so figured out, and I don't want to really mess that up, especially when you bring in the career side of things, right? The other big reason I wanted to move was I wanted to be a librarian in a university, and Nashville, Tennessee has some options for me where I don't have those options here local to me. Well, my ambitions have changed and my dreams have changed since starting this YouTube channel. I am doing pretty well on YouTube and Etsy, and I'm surviving on those 2 incomes alone. Child support has ended these last 4 months, which is kind of another factor. I don't have that little bit of a cushion to help me whenever I move. I also am, it's all on me, right? It's all on me, and that is perfectly fine. It's not that big of a deal, but because I want to pursue Etsy and YouTube full time, and I'm launching this planner business, I just feel like this year I really need to focus on YouTube and Etsy. I need to focus on building my career. If you've been watching my videos, you know I've been calling this the year of foundational work for me, as far as like the move was a factor in that foundation, but there's only so much one person can do, right? So I am choosing instead to focus on, one, I would like to get a reliable car, so some of my money will stay really focused on getting a reliable vehicle. The other foundational work is just I need to keep working on our homeschool schedule. I need to keep kind of perfecting that. That is brand new to me. And then the huge thing is continuing to build my Etsy and YouTube shop platform, income, all of those things. You guys might have noticed, if you are somebody that watches all of my videos, that these last couple months, last month and a half, I've really slacked on building new products. I haven't been posting with the same energy and different kinds of content, and it is because I've just been so bogged down with planning a move. I have legit behind the scenes just been picking out all the apartments. I have behind the scenes been picking out all the apartments I want to go to, all the co-ops that we need to go to. We traveled to Nashville, Tennessee recently to check out all of those things, and it was a fun trip. It was a productive trip, especially because I do still plan at some point to get there. I just don't think right now is the time for that. I think I really need to focus on my career, and I have not been having fun with the whole move thing. I will just be honest. I don't know that moves are ever fun. I am not somebody that's lived in Mississippi my entire life. I lived here growing up as a child, but as a young adult in my 20s, I moved to, I had to think about it for a second. I moved to Utah, and then I moved to Costa Rica, and then Nicaragua, and then I went to Hawaii, and then I came back to Mississippi at some point. So I had moved around fairly frequently in my young adult years. I know that moving can be stressful, but this time it just felt different. It did not feel right. I didn't feel like I had everything lined up, and it just did not make sense at this point, especially because the main reason at this point is for hospitals, and that's not something that's major right now. I'm trying to kind of weigh what am I doing out of fear versus what is actually in front of me. Does that make sense? So I guess overwhelmingly the amount of support I get, especially with homeschooling here, is just it's what's most important. The other most important thing to me is continuing to build this platform on YouTube and continuing to build my Etsy shop, because I have so many ideas and so many things I'm wanting to share there that I'm really, really excited about. And then launching a paper planner business on top of it. I need to be pouring my energy into this and into you guys. And it's not even from a money standpoint, because I would say where I'm at right now is still comfortable. It's just that I'm excited about it, and it's what I want to be doing right now. I don't want to plan a move right now. I don't want to be wasting more time with moving because I want to be here. I want to be doing this. Okay, last thought too is the last month or two, family around me has started to express the desire to possibly move when I move or move with me. They are all not ready yet. It's still in like the talking phases, but there was a big part of me that was like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and move when my boys are little. We can create our little tribe where we're moving. We can get friends where we're moving. And it was like ripping the Band-Aid off. Like, it's going to happen sooner or later. I might as well just move and do it. I'm gonna have to move away from family. But when they started expressing the desire to possibly move with me, I really started to feel like I want to give them a year to figure out what they're thinking and if it's gonna be possible, because I don't wanna move away from them and then they start to back away from that idea. I also don't want to move away from them. We build our tribe, and then I'm almost reintroducing family back into being around 24/7 because I'm huge on my family. I'm with my family, meaning my parents and my twin brother and his wife and his little girl. I'm with all of them all the time. And so I don't know, I want to give them a little bit more time to sort of flesh out that desire to see if move is possible for them. And it's just not like that urgent. Like, I don't have to move this year. And if you are somebody like me who is blessed enough to have family, then you can probably relate to this sentiment. But I just feel like right now, the way that the world is, I do not want to be leaving my family. Like, there's just so much uncertainty. There are so many bad things going on in the world that I want to be with them right now. I just want to enjoy them. I want my kids to enjoy them. So long story short, this summer, just in so many ways, this summer is not the time for the move. I do feel bad because I've talked about it so much on my channel, and you guys have encouraged me and you guys have been looking forward to me moving. It is what it is. And I know 99.9% of you guys are going to completely understand and appreciate everything that I'm saying. So thank you. You guys are always so supportive. But I did, again, just feel like this was a very face-to-face moment. I wanted to share that with you guys and just explain my reasoning here. Now, with all of that being said, you guys will see me on the channel a lot more. You guys will see new products on Etsy because I'm back focusing on you guys. I'm back focusing on Etsy and some things that I'm just really, really excited about, and I'm moving away from the move. You will see me redo my binders very soon. I'm so sorry. But you will see me redo my binders as I sort of prep to hunker down here with this inflation and everything that's going on. You're gonna hear a lot more about that on my channel, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, very soon. And there is the possibility that I will be moving into a 3-bedroom instead of a 2-bedroom in the local area. I haven't quite decided on that. But y'all, I'm basically living in a 1-bedroom apartment with a 7 and a 5-year-old boy. 1 bedroom, 1 bath. I do have this office. It's technically a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, but my office takes up 1 whole room and I really need more space in my office. So we will see if I move just local to me and get in a contract with a different apartment. I haven't settled 100% on that, but we will talk about that on the channel. As always, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.